Do you have a success mindset? If not, it's time to get one. I'm John Sanpetro, and on this episode of the Stamping is My Business podcast, we're going to talk about 3 ways to develop a success mindset. A success mindset is critically important for your business and really for your life. Without a success mindset, it's going to be so much more difficult to do just about everything that you have to do. It's like swimming through mud. It's like, running uphill constantly. Having a success mindset means that you actually believe that you can be successful at whatever it is you're trying to do. Having a success mindset means that you assume success. It doesn't mean that you always succeed, but when you assume success, you absolutely succeed more often than a person who does not assume success. Because when you don't have a success mindset, and when you're not assuming success, when you're assuming failure, basically, you are much more likely to either discourage yourself and or create a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're basically trying to prove yourself right, whether you have a success mindset or you don't. If you have a success mindset, then you're trying to prove that you will be successful. When you don't have a success mindset, believe it or not, a lot of the times you're self-sabotaging yourself. You are trying to prove that you're right, that you won't be successful. And obviously, that's a terrible way to go about business. It's a terrible way to go about life. And so what I want to talk about today, what I want to share with you today are 3 ways that you can develop a success mindset. It's important to understand that even if you don't currently have a success mindset, you absolutely can change that. You absolutely can develop that mindset. It is not a given. It is not a foregone conclusion that if you don't have it now, you'll never have it. That's simply not true. I have been working with stamping business owners for the past 20 years, and I can't tell you how many of them have come to me without a success mindset. How many of them have come to me thinking and assuming failure, quite honestly. And we have been able to turn that around over and over and over again with client after client after client. And there's absolutely no reason why we can't do that for you as well. And so the 3 things I'm going to discuss in this episode are good, solid first steps. So the first step, the first thing that you need in order to develop that success mindset, the first step you have to take is you have to be able to visualize an objective. You have to have an objective. You have to have something that you're working toward, a vision that you're working toward, a vision not only of your business, but of your life. In other words, you need to be able to visualize what you want your business to look like. And then, because your business looks like that, you need to be able to then see what your life is going to look like as a result of that. To put it another way, what would a successful stamping business look like to you? And what would that successful stamping business provide for you and for your family that you don't currently have? That's the objective. Now, I always tell my clients that the objective cannot be money. Not money in and of itself. You can't just say, I want to make $75,000 a year. Because at the end of the day, money is never a strong enough motivator. Money in and of itself, money by itself, is never a strong enough motivator. We all think it is, but when push comes to shove, it really isn't. what the money does for you, what the money provides for you, how the money changes your life. That can be the objective. Does the money get you out of debt? And does that feel so much better to have that enormous weight lifted off your shoulders? If that's the case, that's your objective. Does the money allow you to send your kids to a better school? Does the money allow you to make repairs to your house that you've wanted to be making for a long time? And it doesn't even have to be anything so grand. Do you just want a nicer car? And how will that make you feel? That can be your objective as well. Once you have the objective, once you have the vision, then you can say, okay, in order for me to achieve that objective, in order for me to achieve that vision, I have to make X number of dollars. But having that objective and being able to visualize your success is a huge step forward in developing a success mindset. It's probably one of the most important steps. If you can't visualize success in your life and what that looks like, it's going to be very difficult to develop that success mindset. The second step that you need to take in developing a success mindset is to really pay attention to what you say to yourself. Success mindsets are all about self-awareness, self-motivation, and self-sabotage. And whatever that internal dialogue is, whatever kind of self-talk you engage in, that's going to go a long way to determining whether or not you're going to be able to develop that success mindset and ultimately whether or not you're going to be able to be successful. There's a lot of negative self-talk out there. There's a disproportionate amount, I would say, of negative self-talk within the stamping business community. And that's a shame. And it's also completely misguided because, believe it or not, running your stamping business is a very straightforward process. We tend to, again, make it more complicated and tend to, throw up our own roadblocks and again, sabotage ourselves a bit. But it's a very straightforward business to run. And usually if we do A, we will get B as a result. It's very straightforward. But you will cut yourself off at the knees if you're engaging in negative self-talk. You will sabotage yourself if you're basically telling yourself you're not going to be able to do this, you're not going to be successful, people aren't going to buy from you, people aren't going to like it if you raise your prices, and so on, and so on, and so on. Negative self-talk will absolutely crush your chances of developing a success mindset, and ultimately, they will crush your chances of actual success. And so you have to be very aware. You have to be very aware of what you're saying to yourself. And when you hear yourself engaging in negative self-talk, you have to turn that around. You have to acknowledge what you just said, but then you need to flip the script. And you need to also acknowledge the possibility that you will be successful. And you have to commit to making that possibility the reality. And when you do that, you are well on your way to developing that success mindset. Finally, the third step you should take if you want to develop a success mindset is to make sure you're surrounding yourself with other people who have that similar success mindset. If you're surrounding yourself with negative people, you're going to be a negative person. It's almost impossible for that not to happen. I forgot who said it, but it's a great saying. Show me the 5 people you spend the most time with, and I'll show you how successful you're going to be. It's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. And look, when I first started my business and I was on the entrepreneurship road, there were definitely people in my life, not bad people, very well-meaning people, but still there were people who were very negative. And I had to minimize the time that I was spending with them because it was not helping me. It was bringing me down. It was bringing my chances of success down. And so I had to instead start to fill my time and my circles with people who were on a similar path, people who shared the same drive and the same desire, people who had already achieved what I wanted to achieve and were very positive about the journey, people who encouraged me instead of discouraged me. And that, as much as anything else, is what helped me become successful. Having people around you who support you is incredibly important. And look, I understand that some of you aren't getting that from your family. You're not necessarily getting that from your spouses or your relatives, and that's unfortunate. But that doesn't mean you can't be successful. It doesn't mean you can't develop a success mindset. You just have to balance the time that you're spending with those people against time that you're going to be spending with more positive people, more success-minded people. And if you can reduce some of the time that you're spending with the negative people, then you should. These are 3 crucial steps that are going to take you so far down the path to developing a success mindset. Have an objective. Pay attention to what you say to yourself, and surround yourself with others who have a success mindset. If you can take these 3 steps, you are so close to developing that success mindset. The only thing left is putting the consistency and the time into those steps and into what you're doing. And before you know it, you not only will develop that success mindset, but you're going to be amazingly successful as well. If you enjoyed this episode of the Stamping is My Business podcast, please feel free to like it, share it, subscribe to it, and listen to more. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, our website, stampingismybusiness.com, and on our Facebook page, facebook.com/stampingismybusiness. If you have questions or ideas for future episodes, please email them to me at john@stampingismybusiness.com. This is John Sanpetro, and I'm just trying to get you paid.